welcome back to my channel. So, I want to get right into this. I got a back brace that's supposed to improve my posture. That was last week's big thing. I've been wearing it all week, and I will say that even when I'm not wearing it, I will have that thought pop in my head where I'm asking myself if I'm in good posture, and 8 times out of 10, I think I am. My chest is generally out, my shoulders are back like they're supposed to be. What I didn't expect was that it makes my walking different. I'm someone who's been known to drag their feet a little bit, and now I'm walking with a bigger stride and like I'm have a purpose, and that's nice. It also tends to make my shoulders look broader. I like that. The only downside I can give is that because I'm someone who doesn't usually puff out their chest at all, uh, doing that now, I feel like people are looking at me and they're thinking I'm trying to be the big gorilla in the room, if you know what I mean. Um, that was last week's big thing that I've been doing all week. Sunday, a couple of days ago, I was trying to think of what I could get next or what I could do next. And I heard about Audible through a friend and through YouTubers online. They offer 2 free books of your choosing. And so I got the Charisma Myth, which was a decent book. I devoured it in 2 days. And sorry, I just ate, so. Um, but I would give it a 4 out of 5 stars, mainly because she talks about 4 different charisma styles, um, and I feel like she like brisked right through 3 of them and focused on what I refer to as the giver. I've heard it called the giver. I don't remember what she called it. She called it something different. But basically, you're giving people reassurance and positive vibes, making them feel good, that kind of a thing, which is a nice trait to have. But I was really hoping she would go into things like, I don't know, the charismatic style that Robert Downey Jr. has, or the guy that plays Star Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's kind of a goofball, and since I'm kind of a goofball, I was kind of curious to if she would have gone into those things, and she didn't. And what's even worse is that she narrated it with like no emotion. It was like talking to Siri, completely dead. So, but I finished that book, and then today I started the second book. I'm like 2 or 3 hours in, and that book is far more enjoyable. He talks like he has a spirit. He talks with emotion. And I like it. It's a book on dating for men. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but I do enjoy it so far. I'll give you a better rating on it when I finish it next week. Um, but I will tell you that the last few days that I've been listening to these books, I feel like I've gotten in a more positive mood than I've been in since I started this whole thing. I mean, every week I feel a little better, but I it's weird to say because every week I feel like it's a highlight almost. It's like a highlight week of my positivity. But I was in such a good mood that I woke up and texted my friend that I've been friends with for like a couple of years, and I wanted to make sure he knew that his relationship with me was important. I told him he was one of my best friends. I only have a couple. I have Mike and Jen who are married, and I had my brother. I don't really want to get into what's going on with me and my brother, but um, so yeah, that was a weird thing that was going on in my mind this week for all that. I don't know. I just want to make people feel good, and it's probably because it was talked about in the first book. It's even talked about a little bit in the second book, a little bit actually. Um, but another thing that the second book has made me do, they wanted me to write down my core values. That was like a big thing that he wanted me to do. Make sure I do it. So I thought that'd be an easy one to do, but it wasn't. I wrote down 3 core ideas, 3 core values, and then expanded upon those. Those core ideas were to focus on myself, which sounds kind of rude, but um, really it's about making me happy. Until I have kids, I'm the star of my life, right? So there's that. There's friendships and relationships are important to me, and The third one was living my life with a purpose, which I have not been doing up until recently, but I can tell the difference it's made on my life, and I want to continue doing that. I'm not going to go into details on how I expanded all those, but I'm sure you can imagine. Um, but it's been a fun week. I mean, I know last week I told you that I was talking to several girls, and that's continued this week. But some of them are not the same girls. Some of them have dropped off, and others have picked up. But the important part is that I'm not even trying. I mean, I go onto that singles Facebook page where some of those girls are coming from, and I flirt, but I'm not. I'm pretty obvious, and I think they know it, that I'm not really being serious when I flirt. It's all in jokes. Last week we had what's called Thirsty Thursday, and the girls are supposed to drop selfies, and us guys are supposed to give them compliments, right? That's the concept. Well, I thought, I didn't want to see a single girl feel like they were the one girl who didn't get a compliment. So I made sure every girl felt equally the same when I addressed them. I gave every one of them a like or a heart. I made sure everyone had a gift that suggested that they were cute, even if they were too old for me or just not my type. And I gave every one of them an individual, very, very cheesy, very stupid, funny kind of pickup line. One of those obvious, like, you would never actually use that pickup line, but it's funny anyway. And the girls were loving it. And as a matter of fact, it seemed like it was rubbing off on the guys too, because I mean, ever since, the guys have been giving me more likes on my comments, and making more responses to the things I say. And there was two guys though. I don't know if maybe they're just so new that they don't realize that I'm not being serious. But there were two guys though that actually acted very jealous towards me. One of them straight up left. Um, but it is what it is. Uh, Lastly though, my weight has been bouncing up and down all week, like wildly up and down all week. Um, 2 days after I posted the last video, my weight jumped up 6 pounds, and instead of it being possibly a water weight thing, something happened that let me know that it wasn't water weight. Um, it's really gross, really, it is. But my pee smelled like pneumonia, and I was really kind of concerned. And I looked it up and found out that's a telltale sign that you are very dehydrated. So I couldn't blame it on water retention. I don't know what it was. I really don't. But it bounced around up and down all week this week, just wildly up and down. Um, I'm at 358 pounds. So I'm currently the same as I was last week. It's the first time I've been the same, but I have seen it go lower. I've seen it down to 356 just yesterday. So I mean, I don't know what's going on with my weight, really, to be honest. I don't know. Um, I do need to focus on water, though. Obviously, I don't usually have that problem with my pee. But instead of being upset that I didn't, lose a considerable amount of weight this week, I would hope that I would have lost 2 pounds, but I'm not really worried about it. I know that I didn't do anything really wrong. I didn't gorge on food. I had my one cheat that I had, and I did workouts. The only thing I didn't do really well was my water. Um, Whether it's a plateau or whatever, I don't know. But honestly, I'm in too good of a mood to care this week. There's just too many good things going on. So, um, but I won't give up. I'm going to stay positive, and you should too. I will see you next week. Bye.